Hello, welcome to the Dream Awake Challenge, Day 3. Today, our challenge is going to be about getting out of your own way, eliminating your personal barriers. So, one of the things I talked about in our ebook about eliminating your personal barriers and getting out of your own way is that sometimes you literally have to defy science. You have to defy your parents. Scary. For me, that was the biggest one. And defy doesn't mean disrespect. I know growing up in an African household, defy your parents was not something you do. But what are some things that you are doing that is stopping you from getting to the next level in your life? Okay, so we can talk about all the different people that we have to defy, all the different people that we have to that are blocking us from doing things. Okay, but what are you doing that's stopping you from getting to the next level? So, for example, let's say that you wanted to sign up for a yoga class. You wanted to become a yoga specialist, okay? Did you ever go and sign up for that class? Did you ever research or ask questions about becoming a yoga specialist? How about you wanted to start that business you've been thinking about? You probably wrote down some great things, but have you written out your business plan? Have you asked questions? The hardest thing that most of us can't do is ask questions because of our ego. We don't ask questions. And that's one of the ways we get in our own way, not asking questions. Okay? So today we're really going to dig deep and think about what are those things that we are doing that's getting in our way, preventing us from living our dream life. Okay? So a lot of times those barriers that we create for ourselves do derive from someone telling you couldn't do something. So I'll tell you a little personal story of mine. So when I was I think I might have been 21 or 22. I had just graduated college, and I was looking for a job, and I couldn't find a job. So I decided, you know what, I love to volunteer. I love to do great things in my community. Why don't I join AmeriCorps? And through that program, I was able to be a kindergarten teacher's assistant. And I remember working with this woman, and we had a kindergarten class. So in kindergarten, you teach kids how to read. And I remember I asked her a question. I said, well, we're teaching these kids how to read. How come we don't teach them grammar? Like, you know, a period, when you see a comma, you pause. When you see a period, you stop. And she said, oh, these kids are too young for that. You don't know anything about teaching. You'll never be a teacher if you think that you're supposed to teach this so young. So, of course, I was a little peed off that she said that to me. But I was like, whatever. I thought I brushed it off. But as I continued, you know, working with her, a lot of negativity, as I started thinking, you know, I really do like teaching. Maybe I should go into teaching. Guess what started to come back? Those very things that she said to me. Oh, you'll never be a teacher if you think this is the way you do it. That's not how we do it. And so I started to internalize those things that she said to me. And you know what? They started to get in my way. So I allowed what one person said to me to get in my way. So fast forward, after I finished that program, I started looking for jobs. And you know, one job I refused to look for was a teaching job, because I really began to believe. I started getting in my own way. I started to believe that, you know, maybe I'll never be a teacher. Maybe I'll never do this. Okay? But I remember one day I had gotten hurt at my second job, and I was home, and I saw this program for the New York Teaching Fellows. And as I'm reading through the description of what they wanted from this person, it said me, right? But guess what? I started allowing what this woman said to me, what I started to believe about myself, to get in the way, and I put that application on hold for almost, I think it was the day before the deadline. And you know what? I put in the application on the deadline. The day it was about to be a wrap, I put in the application. And here I am. Thank God I got into that program. I got my master's in education, where this woman told me I'll never be a teacher. And I started to believe that I'll never be a teacher. And here I am, fast forward 2014, I'm a school administrator. I actually create programs for schools. So what that says to you is, yes, someone might have told you something. Yes, you began to believe those things. And you started getting in your own way through your thought process. You started thinking negative things about yourself. You started saying, oh, I'll never do that. And sometimes we don't even recognize the connection of where that comes from. Luckily for me, now I understand that, but I was able to get over it quickly. But for some people, they don't pick that up right away. So I want you to think about, for your challenge today, what are those things that are getting in your way? What are those things that you are allowing to get in your way? What are those personal barriers that you have created for yourself? Okay? Things that really don't exist. And a lot of times it comes from fear. And what is fear? The acronym is false evidence appearing real. It doesn't even really exist, but we have created those barriers in our mind because of what someone told us, because of the craziness that we believe. All right? And a lot of times our best life is on the other side of that fear. Okay? On the other side of that barrier that we've put in front of ourselves. So today, for your challenge, what I would love for you to do is, remember, pen to paper. Pen to paper. I want you to write down 3 things that you are allowing to be in your way. 3 personal barriers that you have created for yourself. And this is something hard. A lot of times we don't think that we are preventing ourselves from moving forward in life. We a lot of times think it's other people who are stopping us, or whatever the situation may be. But I want you to really think about, what are those things that you are creating, the barriers that you are creating for yourself. Okay? 3 things. Then I want you to write under those 3 things how you can flip it, how you can turn it around. Okay, so for instance, maybe one of the barriers you've created for yourself is that, you know what? I'm not a great, you want to be a writer, right? But one of the barriers you're creating for yourself is, I'm not a good writer. Who's going to read those? Who's going to read my writing? Maybe my grammar isn't great. Maybe my this isn't good. Maybe people are not going to identify with me. I want you to write down that one of the barriers you're putting in yourself is thinking that no one wants to read your stories. Okay? So under that, you will write, the way you're going to flip it is, I am a great writer. Okay? I am a great writer. And when we start thinking, I think it's on day 7, we might start, I think we're going to talk about creating our vision boards and powerful words and what those things mean. But I want you to write, I am going to be a great writer, or I am a great writer. Okay? So your challenge for today is 3 things that is standing in your way, that you created, barriers that you created for yourself, and then you're going to flip it at the bottom. So 3 things that are in your way, 3 things that you're going to do to make it better, to actually accomplish the goals that you want. All right? So day 3, your assignment, make sure you're writing in your journal, you're writing it down. Take action, because a lot of times we listen to great things, we're like, oh, that makes sense, but we don't ever put it into action. And the number one way of achieving your goals is to put everything that you learn into action. Okay? So don't forget, join the movement.